Welcome to the Saturday Night Showdown. The climate change conference COP28 is underway in Dubai, and it's the biggest one yet. 400,000 bigwigs flew in, apparently, lots of them on private jets, to a city built on oil money. It's like promoting veganism by hosting a bullfight at McDonald's. They're meeting to try and stop the temperature rising by 2 degrees. Heaven forbid the temperatures rise by 2 degrees. We might have to undo the top button on our duffel coats. Of course, the COP28 delegates are trying their best to reduce their carbon footprints. They're sharing bunk beds in hostels, and they aren't running the air conditioning. Just kidding. It's a festival of hypocrisy. They're staying in 5-star hotels and ordering lobster and massages on room service, living it up, all at the taxpayers' expense, and emitting lots of carbon while patting themselves on the back for inventing new taxes to keep us in poverty. King Charles is there, pontificating on how to reduce our carbon. Why don't you be low-carbon, King Charles? You literally live in a palace. You have a private jet and a royal yacht. Why don't you move into a one-bedroom flat in Peckham and get the bus? And then you can lecture us on our emissions. Bring your carbon footprint down to my level before you wag your finger at me. All these smug lovies that lecture us, Emma Thompson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Bill Gates, have vastly bigger carbon footprints than us. But they still want to stop us flying to Lanzarote once a year so they can still take a helicopter to Glastonbury. This week, Olivia Colman brought out a film of her dressed in latex to encourage pension funds not to invest in oil. And if they keep doing it, she's going to release more footage. The lovies don't just want our pensioners to be cold, they want them to be destitute. COP28 is the biggest climate conference yet. Only 30,000 people flew into Glasgow for COP26 2 years ago. It's amazing how much more popular it is when it's warm and there's a chance of getting a tan. Kind of suggests global warming might not be all bad. Hopefully, COP28 is better organised than the Glasgow one, where they hired a fleet of electric cars to ferry the delegates around, but they didn't have enough charging points, so they had to hire diesel generators to charge the electric cars. You couldn't make it up. There's a call for climate reparations as well. Apparently, Britain owes lots of money to developing countries because of the carbon we emitted when we built the modern world in the Industrial Revolution, when they were still running around in grass skirts. It's a recipe for corruption. We're going to tax poor people in Britain and give it to third world dictators. And it's not going to reduce carbon, because I don't know if you've noticed, but third world dictators like private jets, yachts, and flying Beyoncé in to sing at their birthday party. So instead of that money being spent on essential things for regular people in Britain, it's going to get spent on Bentleys for dictators. Also, if we have to pay reparations for the negative effects of inventing civilization, the flip side of that is that we should get a dividend for the good things we did for humanity, like inventing trains and televisions and antibiotics. Yeah, that's right. Nobody in the third world gets any antibiotics until we get more money. And the climate lobby have attached themselves to some nasty left-wing ideas. Greta's latest idea to reduce carbon is apparently to exterminate Jews from the river to the sea. Never forget, we are the carbon that they want to reduce. Delegates will say, but the size of that footprint is absolutely dwarfed by the emission cuts that a deal can produce. Yeah, but this whole conference could have been done over Zoom. Don't tell us to reduce carbon, show us. It's not about reducing carbon anyway. It's about increasing taxes and increasing power. Watching these celebs cavort in luxury is like watching Marie Antoinette prancing at the Palace of Versailles. Instead of let them eat cake, it's let them heat pumps. Net zero, listen, I give net zero Fs. With me tonight, we've got the comedian and singer Susie Kennedy, the comedian Justin Panks. Great to have two fellow comedians alongside me, but it can't all be laughs. So, a very good evening also to Lewis Schaefer. Susie, Lewis, I'm so sorry. I had no idea they'd written that for me to say.
They didn't write that. This is your show.
Yeah, I know, all right. I'm just trying to get out of it. But, Susie, do you think I'm being too harsh on these
No, I
puritanical...
gave you a round of applause, but I want to see King Charles in a one-bedroom flat in Peckham.
Yeah.
Actually, that's where you live, right?
I live in Peckham.
So they'll swap for a week.
And we could convert Buckingham Palace. We could convert Buckingham Palace into HMOs, houses of multiple occupancy. We could fit loads of people in there and get some use out of all that carbon expenditure.
But you know what? Peckham, I mean, I don't really live in, quote, Peckham. I live in SE15, which is almost Peckham. I live in Nunhead. But
This sounds like estate agent talk.
One-bedroom flats are super expensive now. It could cost as much as Buckingham Palace, for all I know. That's what's happening. So it wouldn't be that much of a downgrade for the dude.
Right. And Justin, you live in Norwich, which is technically about 30 metres below sea level. Are you worried about climate change?
No, I'm worried about it. Like you say, the hypocrisy that all these people out there making decisions that never affect their lives.
Yeah.
They don't know the pain of trying to get that last third of milkshake for a soggy paper straw.
Yeah.
They make these decisions. They own the plastic factories. It's always us. We have to pay buy 5p a carrier bag, pay for the sort of like ULEZ. It's never
5p is 30p now.
Is it? Well,
it's 30p.
Well, I don't do the shopping. But I'm saying, it's always us. They blame us, and then we have to carry the can. It's like gaslighting.
Yeah, it is, although they wouldn't like gaslighting because it's got gas in it and also lighting. Yeah. And they'd rather we sit in oxygen-free darkness.
Although, have you ever been on a private jet?
No, I haven't.
I see. I've not been on a private jet.
Right.
But I've been on like a little flight to Guernsey where no one else is on it.
Right.
And it felt like a private jet and it was lovely. So I can actually understand if I could get a private jet, sorry environment, I would.
Yeah, although apparently they're not very comfortable because they're so small. It's just this like tiny cigar tube.
Yeah, it's like a missile, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what
but there's no one else on it.
With no one else on it?
There's no kids screaming. Because I always get that person that kicks me and scream. I mean, I can't
Stop taking your kids with you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you think the king shouldn't be political, Lewis?
I mean, no, the king should be political, but he should stand for Team Britain. Our team, the home team.
Who's he playing for at the moment?
He's playing for Team World.
And what's Team World?
Team World are the people. Team World are the people. Are the new empire, the Germans and the French, and their ideology. But they're not called Germans and French. They're just called. He doesn't care about his own country. He just. I mean, I shouldn't say this because I know the people who watch TV News, they love King Charles, but he's got a side deal with World Economic. He's like saying, listen, if I do nice things for you now, will you let me stay in power?
Yeah, and also we never heard from the Queen about what she thought about environmental policy.
He used to sort of trap up about things like architecture and that, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I think Lewis is right. That's what this is. This was a business meeting. It's how can we get more money? It's not really about saving the environment, is it? Because if you've got a 5-litre Bentley, the ULEZ or the congestion charge means nothing to you, and you're pumping out more sort of like fumes than someone in their little car that's got an older car and can't afford to change it.
Yeah.
So these fines and this punitive thing is only for people that are poorer, the working class. Yeah. It does make me sort of sick, really. But,
yeah. I agree with Justin. Someone described the World Economic Forum, those meetings that they have in Davos, as just basically like Glastonbury for business executives. It's like a festival.
And Glastonbury is already Glastonbury for business executives.
Yeah, it's a different kind of
thing. It's like a Rotary Club on a global scale, isn't it? Where these are like people that think they are important business leaders. Like, what can we do next? And like, charging more for this, charging more for that, and they don't care. They don't care about the environment at all.
Yeah.
It proves it because they're flying out there on private jets, and like you say, like you said, now it's in Dubai, not Scotland.
Yeah.
I'll swerve Scotland. Well, I'll do Scotland on Zoom, but I might go out to Dubai. You know what I mean? Get a bit of lobster thermidor.
Standard of hotels. And in fact, the Scottish one, they had to put people in cruise ships in Glasgow, in the Clyde or whatever, because they didn't have enough hotel space. And I can't think of anything grimmer.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Sitting in a cruise ship, the Princess Caribbean or whatever, but you're on the Clyde.
Aren't they talking about, like in Dubai, they have like air conditioned these massive buildings, and it's just like this, and they've got everything's lit up. It's like the carbon footprint of that place must be insane.
Yeah. It absolutely is. And I mean, oil is so cheap there. It's all fueled by oil. Even when they take the sanitation away, they take it away in trucks because it's
you can't pump that far and stuff.
The oil is so cheap that there's no point building pipes to take it.
Yeah.
It's mad. You can just put it in trucks.
I don't know why we're acting shocked though, because they don't care about us.
Yeah.
Like, we're acting like King Charles doesn't care about us and gets a private jet. Like, are you shocked? Because I'm not actually shocked.
I want the king. I'd want the king of my country. I think it's still my country, even though I'm Scottish. I want him to represent me and stand up for my interests.
He lives he's got like 8 houses and like...
Some of them are palaces.
He doesn't know what it's like to get the tube home.
Yeah.
He only goes on the tube when it's been made, and then he cuts the ribbon and goes, bye, poor people.
Yeah, so he just thinks the tube is brand new.
Yeah, he thinks thinks it's
smells
lovely
good.
and got lots of space.
There's
no one puking up next to you.
This is priority seating for your reigning monarch.
Exactly, the priority seating isn't for the monarch.
Well, that's the funny thing. Only in this country do they have the king who did so little to create that tube. He's got his name on the plaque. He did less than the guy who brought the tea to the workers there. He did nothing. And his name, this subway underground was opened by King Charles on this date.
Yeah,
That was
and
the
it's
first and last
named after his mum as
Yeah.
well, the Elizabeth line.
No, it's the Lizzie line, though, isn't it? It's the Lizzie line.
If you want to see how it's not about climate change, if you think about it, that Dubai, they sell oil. They would never invite all these people into. How can we not sell any oil?
Yeah.
It's clearly not what it's about, is it?
Yeah.
If they go, we're going to stop people using petrol altogether, it'd become like Glasgow, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it would turn into.
Well, yeah, because Dubai, you go there and it's like being on I don't know if you've gigged out there doing the shows in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, but it's like being on a space station. You never really go outside. If you do go outside, you last about 5 minutes before you
Same as Glasgow.
Yeah, no, you last about 5 minutes before you're mugged in Glasgow. But yeah, in Dubai, you're constantly just inside, like you said, in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
All of it's fueled by oil. I mean, it seems the most ridiculous place to
But
have
if you
a
go
climate change
outside,
conference.
especially me as a woman, if you go outside that space station, you're at risk. So people say, go to Dubai, oh, it's fine, you're safe. Are you? Are you safe?
I don't know.
Well, as a woman, I wouldn't feel safe to just rock out of... I wouldn't.
No, you got your sun cream on.
We're all pretending. We all say, like, me too and love the environment, but it's all fake. The underbelly of what's really going on. And that's why people are getting disenchanted. They're like, oh, do you know what? I can't bother with this. It's too fake.
Yeah.
And it's not genuine.
Okay, well, climate change and the climate change conference is fake.